Hello, Sarangees. Welcome to Chasing K-Dramas, the podcast that dissects popular Korean dramas episode by episode. We get into the characters, themes, and everything in between. I'm Dulce Sloan, and this is my co-host,
Chrissy Choi.
Now, you are watching Unnies react. So,
Yes.
we have been watching The Perfect Crown because it is hot, it is new, it is fresh, it is out here. And we're like, well, even though we are still on our road to 10,000 Sarangees campaign so we can get 10,000 subscribers on the YouTube, so you can tell your friends and your K-drama addicts about us, to make sure we are up to date and current, we got to talk about the shows that are just coming out. And this Perfect Crown, today we're going to be talking about episodes 3 and 4. And so we're going to be doing 3 key points from episode 3 and episode 4. And so, Unnie, since you are Unnie that is reacting,
Yes.
tell me.
Yes.
So what is your first key point from episode 3?
Well, I was going to say, let's just overall, get overall thoughts, just
Yes.
off the bat, because we finished watching it yesterday. I watched them back to back yesterday. When did you watch them?
I watched them back to back yesterday.
Yeah.
And I can tell you there were moments where I was very like, ooh, and then there were a couple of moments where I was very bored. So it
yeah, go ahead.
It was interesting because some of the moments I was like, okay, I'm really digging this. And then other times I was like, y'all got to hurry up. It dragged a bit for me.
Yeah, so it's both for me. I think the pacing is really it's fast in certain sections and then it drags when it wants to.
Yes.
But I felt like the speed of them getting closer was way too fast. They just went from let's get married, and you're like, okay, and then they're close all of a sudden, and you're like, okay, sure, and it just went bam, 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 action, action, this, and then there'll be moments where it was slow.
I can see what you mean when you were saying last time that he was wooden. I see the Pinocchio as a marionette, and then sometimes Pinocchio's a real boy. And it literally, and I think it's the scenes where when he's affectionate, it's 50-50. When he has to be dramatic, he is there. When it is comedic, he is wood. And so it's, okay, I know where your strong point, I know where your strong suits are, and I know where you're struggling. I can say he was more believable in 3 and 4 than he was in 1 and 2. But I think also her character, it's her character has softened a lot in these two episodes. Also, because it's I guess I'll start with my key point because that's the first one that got me. When they're talking at the beginning and he was just casually throws in that he wants to ascend the throne.
Yes.
Just real casual. And it was just I paused the TV and I was like, wait.
So we know he's ambitious. And then I was like, was this his plan this entire time? What?
If this was the plan, then why would you marry a commoner? Are you just trying to do stuff that's just so outrageous? You see what I'm saying?
Or is there other machinations that he's causing behind the scenes? Because there was that scene in, I think, episode 4. We're going to probably jump. I mean, we're going to try to keep. But you remember in episode 4 when he's talking to Hui-joo-nim, Prime Minister? And then he was like, hey, you remember that thing that happened at the Cheonghwajeon or whatever they call the Cheonghwajeon?
Yeah.
It's the Cheonghwajeon. It's the fire. He's like, I got that taken care of. And you're like, what? What do you mean? And that was my big question mark. I was like, what are they talking about? Did they plan it? Did he plan the fire? Is there something going around where maybe there is a plan for him to ascend the throne? I don't know. But then
there was also the conversation where he was having a standoff between him and Debbie Mama. And he was like, well, because we don't want a premarital pregnancy, do we? And I'm
so that was so for episode 3, that was one of my moments where I was just like, okay, so did she get knocked up on purpose to marry in to the throne? I think so.
Absolutely. Because this is one of the few, because we all know you can't trap a man with a baby, you trap a woman with a baby. But if you're going to trap somebody with the baby, it is the king of a country. That is, you let him shoot the entire club up. You can't. Condoms who? I am Swiss cheese a condom. How dare you? I am catching this kid. So, but I think it's so interesting that she talks about her and her father, who, and here's the other thing that I can't figure out. Now, if we're living, because I love the modern adaptations of the outfits, the modern adaptations of the house, but I can't figure out, is the father supposed to be like our left state minister who's always the rival?
Yeah.
I think that's okay. I was trying, because we have the actual prime minister, but the prime ministers are more like we have a constitutional monarchy situation.
Yes.
He's your Margaret Thatcher.
He's a Margaret Thatcher, so he was voted in. Yes.
Right. But oh boy, Halapaji, I was like, okay, this must be our left state minister, because it's Debbie Mama's, Apaji. So it's like, okay, it's his dad. Right. And I was like, okay.
So
got it.
My question for this was that family, their line has lost so much power, because you see how everyone died within a span. I mean,
7
the mom died. Yes, mom passed. So the old Queen Dowager, the queen, right, the former queen, she died 7 years ago. Then the king dies shortly after, and then the brother dies, and
7 years after that.
Yeah, and then my question was, where are the other elders? Where are the uncles and the aunts? Like, what happened to this bloodline where it's like, it just seems that everyone in the royal court left Prime Minister, the Queen Dowager's dad, like he's like controlling all of it. So where is everyone else? Like,
where are the siblings? And then there was also a point that they threw in, because they were talking about, and this is in episode 4, when Debbie Mama tries to getting her, I guess, investigated, on some, trying to suspect her of the fire, where it's just like, girl, she's in the middle of, she was nowhere near the fire. This doesn't even make any sense. But they were talking about, I think the servants were talking about how this like, oh, well, she can't be married in because she's a commoner. And it's like, well, people always will get what they're supposed to get. If that was the case, I-an would be king. And it's like,
yes.
Okay, then what the?
Yes.
This is what I don't like about.
What does that even mean?
This is what I don't like. They keep
I just want to just say that was when it wasn't the servants. It was actually her sister-in-law was saying that. Her sister-in-law was telling her brother. Yeah.
So sister-in-law
because she's part of the noble. She's part of the nobility as well.
Because
so she actually gave up her. Yeah.
Because she was the
she married lower.
Right. Because it was the Minister of War's
Justice or something.
Yeah,
Dad's
Justice
like Justice Minister.
Minister of Justice, something like that. It's his daughter.
Yeah.
So wait, so that means her, because I thought, because they were coming to the palace for that initial party, I thought that they were somehow like because she was illegitimate, she's not nobility. But I thought her dad and her brother were.
No. That's the whole point. So from the very beginning, they're just wealthy businessmen. So in Korea, remember we kind of talked about the I guess like not the caste system,
the hierarchy,
the way the social status is set. It's the nobles, right? It's the nobles, and then right underneath the nobles are businessmen. So
I get that. I just misunderstood.
It's following traditional Chosun social hierarchies, and they are just business people, so they're not noble. So that was the whole point when she was going to school. It wasn't because, she was born on the other side of the hanbok, as you say, but it's because she's not noble technically. She's not an aristocrat. She is just a business person.
Because her brother also went to the school, and it didn't seem like it was a big deal either. So that's why I was
because the school had allowed, remember in episode 1, they allowed regular people, like non-nobles, to join the school. That's why they were all attending.
Right. But because they were only talking in reference to her, that's why I was thinking like, because I know, because, I watch enough saguks where just like, I know that because there was one that I was watching where this nobleman kept beating up on this rich businessman because he was like, you'll never make enough money to be a noble. So I understand the hierarchy, but that's
why
what I'm not liking is that they keep giving major backstory as throwaway lines. They're not giving it weight.
And I think it's like I think it's almost kind of like they're throwing us hints, because I think what they want us to do is they're trying to put a larger, like we're supposed to like put the pieces together of this like larger mystery of like the palace intrigue of like what happened to this family. And I think this is why they're probably throwing just bits and pieces, and then we're noticing and we're like clocking it. So maybe it's a device for them to do, but hopefully they'll, I mean, I think they're going to flesh it out, because I feel like all of this is tied. Like it's going to a larger like plot point or like a mystery that's going to be solved. But back to episode 3. So the premarital pregnancy, I made a note of that. I also made a note of Hui-joo's childhood flashback. I thought that was so sad. Like she just, at first it's like from the perspective of her dad, and it makes her seem like she's just this like crazy
Greedy
kid
child,
who just showed up, on her own. She was abandoned on the doorstep, and she's like, give me everything. I'm 5. Give it to me all. But then it's obviously from her perspective, she just wanted love. She was abandoned. She lost her mama. She had found her dad. She just wants her daddy to love her. And you're like, oh my God.
This is just Ji-hae all over again. This is just Ji-hae all over again. But instead of having Taeyong, she gets a whole prince. She gets a whole prince.
Which
but
is
this
like great.
Also, and she's also way more successful at business than Ji-hae ever was. Because Ji-hae seems like she's doing okay. So my other point was the fight for the blanket. And the court ladies and the court the attendants thinking that it was sexy time, like, and it was like a la Dynamite Kiss, where it's like you see people like struggling and making noise, and you're just like,
the grunting, and the weird sounds. Well, mine was, why does this man have a twin size bed? Why is his bed so small?
It's a full. Why? I cannot for the life of me understand if his bed should be wall to wall. Like there is no reason that he should be living like this. Like he's in a fucking dorm room bed. I was like, what is going?
And then the pillows, they were like they were sleeping on top of the 200 like decorative pillows that they have, and I'm like, guys, can't you just have like the servants come and like knock them down or like put them to the side? Because all the pillows had to
be in between it. But I do love the fact where he was like, you can't sleep on the couch, and she's like, no, I'm so comfortable. It's like, but the couch is great, but she's like, no, I'm fine here. And so I do really love that she like stood her ground.
Yeah.
And made sure that she was in this bed. I love that for her. And then my third point was the prime minister has to get this royal marriage approved, even though he's in love with her.
Angel Nim.
But
we need to give him a new name, but like Minister-nim.
Minister-nim. That's his name. Prime Nim, Minister-nim. But yeah, it's second lead syndrome. So you see the fun flashback where she's looking for the key to get to the outdoor archery place, and he's like, "Oh, teacher, the principal's looking for you. I just saw him." And she's like, "Huh?" It's like, "Yeah, okay." It's like, "Yeah, that way." And so he's been protecting her all this time, but he has not opened his mouth. This is 15 years. She calls him Opa and everything. Friend, what? This is what I don't understand. Like, if this is like,
well, did you see the preview? Did you see the preview at the end of episode 4?
Oh, I did.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of a. I think he makes his little.
Good.
He makes a move. I'm like, let's go.
But he should have done that before she got engaged to the Grand Prince. I have no sympathy for this nonsense. So it's just like the man. But now that she knows he wants to sit in the throne, there's no what. Well, shit.
Well, so this kind of leads into episode 4, but it's interesting because he basically, like, the prime minister. So Minister-nim is playing both sides almost, because he is like, okay, I want my friend to be happy. And okay, so he wants to marry this girl. Fine. Let's say that y'all are dating. You guys are, in the early stages of getting to know one another. But
let's say marriage and off the table. There's no engagement. You're just having fun. Because remember, he tells her that the prince has never dated anybody.
And she's anybody. Like, you sure? Are you sure? She's like,
did you ask the man?
Like dynamite?
Girl. Was it like glycerin and gunpowder? You're like, yeah, girl. Okay, cool. But it's like to find out, but it makes sense because when you see this whole, it's a very rigorous, it's like even when someone starts dating like a socialite, now everybody has to have an opinion because like she gets hit by eggs.
Okay, that was really cute though, where she like yells at the kids.
Oh,
which
I
is
knew
so
it.
funny that it's of course it's like little like high school kids who are like fans of his, and they're just like,
Of
stop,
course,
stop
it's these high
touching
school
her
girls.
Opa.
They're the only ones that are bold enough to do that. But I knew that there was no way. If she is breaking glasses at the palace, telling grown women not to mess with her, there's no way that she was gonna let four little dongsangs be like, you're not gonna talk to your Unnie like this. And so she was basically like, because what I love later is like when she had the stuff in her hair, she's like, I should have asked them if it was antibiotic free eggs. Like now she's talking shit about the eggs. But I don't know if you caught this reference. Yeah. So this is one of the key points. So when she comes, so they're trying, so like the guy's doing her hair. What was it? He's
Steward Kim.
Steward Kim.
Chipsanim, yes.
Steward Kim. And he's doing her hair, and they do her hair all up and cute, and she comes down the stairs, and they make a Princess Diana reference.
I know. They're like, she wants to be Princess Di. And they're like, what?
And so I was like, and something told me just to remember that, because I remembered the preview. So, the preview from the end of the episode, now you made a Princess Diana reference in the same episode where she gets in a car wreck.
A car, like a crazy car
like a
car
high-speed chase in a car wreck, which is how Princess Diana passed.
Yeah.
So to even make a Princess Diana reference and then have somebody in a high-speed car chase with the king in the car.
Okay, so that was my point for episode 4. Why would the royal staff allow this? Could you imagine
Why would the
Queen
nanny?
Dowager? She's faking her illness. Could you imagine the gasket she's going to lose when she finds out?
Oh, she's going to... It's going to be one of those things where...
They're going to use it against her. They're going to be like, she tried to kill my son.
Not only is she going to be so upset, but it's going to be one of those things where the Queen Dowager... when like the Debbie Mama, when like she's elderly, and so she gets so upset that she grabs her head and then passes out. That's what's going to happen. So but ridiculous. I do love how her father came to her and was just like, you overplayed your hand. I told you to chill. Why were you investigating her? What are you talking about? Because now she's over at the house. All you did was push them closer together. But it was very sweet that, because I always think about like on the Sagoks where it's just like the little boy king never has any
freedom.
Sorry,
no freedom.
No freedom. Not only that, no friends. So at least when it's like in a palace, like in the past, in the Chosun era, he would at least have a homeboy who was assigned to him.
I know. He doesn't even have that. He has like old people assigned to him.
He's
and like
grown adults.
When he was at school, I just felt so bad. He just wanted to play with the kids, and the kids are like terrified of him. And then
the little boy bumped into him, and then a grown man yelled at you.
Runs over, and it's like, and then it's so interesting because the relationship he has with his mom too is just so sad because like the mom clearly cares. She likes him, she loves him, but like she is also like so power hungry, and this poor kid's just like, I just like want to hang out with my uncle and like other people. Like he wants nothing to do with his mom. Like he's like, I want to hang out with the prime minister. Like I want to hang out with this Unnie, this like Nuna that just shows up and gives me ramyeon, and like I just want to hang out and just be like a fucking kid.
I want to be a child, and that's why when Prime Minister-nim goes, there should be a rule for how old you need to be. Yeah. Age limit on being king.
Yeah. Going back to Angel-nim, one of my other points for episode 4 was I did love how they're using him to, he's definitely second lead, obviously, but our king, so I-an is very jealous of him, and I really did like this. Like he's getting the baseball game because the prime minister is beloved, everyone loves him because he's a hottie too, and everyone's like, ooh, he knows how to throw a ball, like let's watch him. And then also what's interesting is he talks about this openly to Hui-joo. He's just like, like basically he's like, he has freedom, but the prince doesn't. Like if she marries into the family, she can't have sashimi, she can't eat anything raw, she can't do this, she can't do that. So like he's making all these points, you could just tell like I-an's just like getting more and more like annoyed and upset.
Like, so
he's like,
and
shut your mouth,
whatever.
He's like, just eat more sashimi now, like get it in while you can, but I did like the fact that they were using him as I love the fact that he was jealous because of that. And it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks to be to be I-an. It does.
I mean, he's under a microscope at all times. Her outfit was so casual, his was so. But I love whoever is doing the suits.
Did you like the suits? I think those suits are so ugly.
No. I fucking love them because what's happening is that
no, I think it's so tacky.
I love them, but no, the velour suit at the baseball game just looked hot. That was dumb. That didn't make any sense because that was an evening jacket.
I just was like, what's happening?
But like that cream they had him in and I like how it's like, that jacket made no sense. But I like how the jackets are like a very, like someone made a point to make it a very modern to hanbok. But it's like sometimes it's a little bit more blazery, sometimes a little bit more traditional with the ties. So, and then because you can see like when she's getting, because my third point, because I had the Prime Minister as my second point. But what I really love is when he puts, because she was like, oh, I'm just going to go to dinner with Opa. And he was like, oh, I'm going to come too. I'm going to come too. Yeah. And he puts her in the car and looks at Prime Minister-nim and goes, slow day at the office?
Yeah, he's like, why are you not working? What are you doing here? Why are you
here? Sir, both of y'all, this is ridiculous for both of y'all.
What are y'all both doing? Like, he's busy too. He's basic. What's cracked me up is his assistant being like, you gotta work. Like, what are you doing? He's like, please. I need you to come. You gotta finish these assignments. And he's like, Well,
that's what I love about, because it's like he was trying to he was saying I have to work because I'm gonna get in trouble with him, and it's the aide. And I was like, the craziest thing to me when I watch Saguks is that the servants spend so much time telling the royals what they can't do.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't do this, you can't eat this, you can't go here, you can't go there. And I was like, if you watch any historical show from European monarchs,
I know, it's the same thing. It's always like the fucking ladies in waiting being like, you can't do anything.
It's the ladies telling the ladies ladies telling the queen what she can't do. No one telling the king shit. He's out here, multiple women, all the it's like no one tells the king anything. It's only on a Korean drama where someone's telling the king, hey, you can't do that. And it's like, what do you mean I'm the king?
Well, what it reminds me of? Right? You know, like in Batman, it's like Alfred.
Yes.
Like Alfred's like,
you can't storm the city tonight.
Bruce,
he's like,
what? You can't do this.
Can't do this. Master Bruce, you can't do this. And then my last point was the court lady training. First of all, that actress, I love her as a court lady. But I love the scene where like she comes to Prince I-an in the aid and was like, hey, I'm gonna train her up. And they're like, what?
I know.
And then it's
they're so scared for her.
So the fact that both of these men are so scared of this court lady lets you know it's so funny, because like, even I think of it how like every morning like the king has to go greet his parents and then has to go greet the grandmother. And so it's because I was explaining this to my mother and I was like, well, why is that little boy? She's like, why is this little boy the king? I said, oh, because she's like, well, where's his daddy? I was like, it's like, well, where's I-an's dad? The prince's dad. I was like, well, he died. That his brother became king. And then his brother died. That's how his nephew became king. But what I keep hearing the queen say, she keeps talking about how weak her son is.
Yes, because she does not respect. She thought her husband was weak. So
right.
There's this whole theme of like, there was some. Well, remember also like their father, the late king, was very much telling I-an to not outshine the brother. You cannot outshine him, and that was my other key moment for episode 3.
Yes.
I'm sorry, episode 4 was. I-an's childhood is also so freaking sad. So these two main characters,
when his brother lets him try on the dragon,
these two main characters have so much trauma from their father. Like, it's kind of crazy that the dads have treated them so poorly. So like, you just see this kid, he's just like, he couldn't do anything that he wanted to do, and then he gets slapped in the face over that robe, which was like nuts. But it's kind of interesting. So like, I wonder if the previous king or their father was also considered weak, because I think this is going to be a theme throughout, is that, you know, what happened to this royal line where it's like,
where the
it
siblings
got pretty much decimated. Like what's happening?
The father would have had siblings.
It has to have been other people. So it's like, where is everyone else?
Where are the
what
other
happened
kids
to everyone?
at? Because even then, it's like, not only that, the father would have had siblings, but then like the grandfather would have had siblings.
like, yes.
So there's like a whole, there should be a bunch of princes who can't work, but it's like, and I thought about how calculated the sister-in-law is. Heiju's sister-in-law.
She's smart. Yeah, I like her.
She's smart, but I do like the fact that she was sitting at brunch with her friends, and her friend was talking.
And she told that little girl.
She told
that girl was the one that they're trying to set I-an up with. It's that same girl. So yeah, I'm like, yep.
But I also like when she got in a car and she was like, I should have just pulled her hair, and her husband goes, I'll be your lawyer.
Yeah.
I'll be your lawyer.
He's like, do it. And she's
do
like,
it. Yeah. So it's like. So they have an actual, and I love the fact they have like an actual loving, even though there's kind of conniving. You know what I think? In the same way, so Heiju's dad hates her because when his wife found out about Hui-joo, when she shows up, the wife finds out about the affair, she passes out, can't take it, dies, right?
That also was freaking wild because you would not expect, like, Hui-joo caused her stepmom to die.
No, like, her dad caused her stepmom to die because he should have had, if your mistress is sick, I don't know why people aren't checking up on their mistress when they have children from them. You knew your mistress was sick. You should have had that baby ready to go into care or to go to somebody.
Or maybe he didn't know that there was a child. I thought about that. It seemed like he had no idea who she was. I don't think he knew.
I don't think he did. But what makes me also think is the way the king slapped I-an. I don't think they have the same mom.
Yeah, I think I-an, that was something else. I think there's something beyond that because... You know when the queen mother was dying, or I guess the brother. So when the king's wife died, you see the young child. It's not I-an. It's his brother who's only crying because I-an's not even there. Did you notice that? So maybe I-an is like a concubine's kid.
I think he's a concubine's kid.
Yeah. So
I think he's a concubine's kid, and I think that they were because concubines' kids for some reason
you can't. They
can't. But it's also like.
Which would be kind of cool then, because that makes them both illegitimate.
That's what I was saying. To start with. That if he's a concubine's kid, so that's what I was saying, because he wasn't supposed to be the heir because he's not the queen's child. This is my question, though. If the child of a concubine cannot ascend to the throne, what is the point of having concubines?
Him as or why is he a regent? Why is he allowed to be a regent? So that's where kind of like maybe he isn't, because the regency part... Like, to me, okay, I don't know what the rules are, but like, I would
shouldn't even happen because the regency should be the queen. Like, a prince shouldn't be the regent. Well, that's what I'm saying.
So so maybe he is legitimate because that would be wild for them to be like, hey, let's give the illegitimate child the regency.
But I don't understand it's already how the bizarre. Kids of concubines were illegitimate if there was different levels to concubines, and these were legitimate women. So it's like there's your level 4.
She may not have been, so maybe she was level 2. That's like technically noble, but not really a concubine, because anyone could be like a servant could be a concubine. So maybe he wasn't a concubine. Maybe he was just the second wife, but we'll see. I mean, again, I think like all of this is just kind of like unfurling, but I did want to say this. I think though the Queen Dowager's family, it's safe to assume that the Lord In-pyun and his daughter, they've been killing all of them. Like the queen dying in a car accident was not an accident.
No.
Maybe the dad, the king dying of the heart attack, maybe that was. But we know that his brother's death, that was planned. And I think this is why, like, they, with Hui-joo's car, whoever tampered with it, I think has to do with. I mean, it's definitely the Queen Dowager's family. There's like no other way.
Absolutely. Once I saw the mother died, once I was like, oh. So his mother died in a car. The mother died in a car. So the queen died in a car wreck. Yeah. Died in a car wreck. And then now they're about to have another car wreck. Because here's the thing. They never had any intention of the little boy. First of all, that nanny is toast. That nanny.
Because again, she's like, why are you letting her go in this car ride?
Also, why are you not just in the car with them?
I know. So that was weird. They were like, oh, I'm going to follow you. What's so funny is like they had the entire... I mean, it was smart of the prime minister to follow behind them, although he did not show up. But, oh yeah, that was my other thing. After that...
He pops up.
The accident... She's so smart to go on that bridge, though, because she went on that bridge to like slow down the car by crashing. And I was like, this is very smart. And then at the very end, I'm like... why are you just staring at her? Like, why aren't you rushing to make sure that they're okay? Just like slow-mo's
Because
out.
that's the beginning of the next episode is when he runs towards her. But I was just like,
he like gets out of the car so hot, and I'm like, we get that you're hot.
Trauma with head trauma, bleeding. Here's the thing: it's if this gets out. So like one, I was like, okay, she accelerated, fine. But as soon as she hit the brake, the car accelerated too, and I was like,
that was crazy. It went from like 60 to 130.
120. I was like, oh my god, kilometers, girl.
No, I think it's
No, it was kilometers because they told her she couldn't go over 60 kilometers an hour.
That's interesting. Then it's slow. Then it's lower. Then right? Is it higher?
I think with
the cars I noticed in Korea, they have the miles per hour too.
They have both.
Because when I would like look over, they had both. Yeah. So
no. American cars too have them. I think they just make cars with both of them because my car has both. Every car has both.
I never even look at. Well, see, my car now it doesn't. I don't have one. Mine's electric, so mine's like digital.
Oh,
yeah.
but
You could
but on the regular like speedometer, it would have both numbers. I think when
Both
I would
numbers.
go to other countries, it would just have. It would have.
I think it
both.
had both numbers. Yeah, thank God.
Yeah,
Because could you imagine people being like,
well, that's what they said would happen on the Autobahn because people would get on the Autobahn and it'd be like 100, and then it's just like kilometers per hour. So people would get tickets all the time. Americans and British people would get tickets all the time because they're like, you were going 130 kilometers. Like, no, I was going 100 miles. You said, and they're like, it says kilometers, man. I was going like 80 or some dumb shit.
okay, so basically she was going like 75. Okay.
She was going fast as hell.
She went for, she was going 120. It went from like 60 kilometers to 120 kilometers.
Yes.
So basically 120 kilometers, like 75 miles per hour.
On a regular street, that's too fast. So it was very smart of her to get to that bridge. But also I was like, but here's the scary thing about the bridge. It was the bridge makes you could fall off the fucking bridge. You could flip off the fucking bridge. I guess the prince was supposed to just catch this whole car and flipped off the fucking bridge.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he would have drove a barge or something across it. But I can say that the outfits that she had on were when she was learning the traditional, we get in the court lady training. I thought it was very cute, very modern twist on a humble.
It just looked like a
cute little sundress.
It's not even a sundress. It's like what the when you would like be training back in the day, like even during like Choson era, where they would have their like, it looked like a army, like the uniforms they would wear while they'd be training. But also I did want to say this made me laugh so hard. Two things. When they pulled out the hope in the toilet, I was like, what the is happening? And I was like, I laughed.
My mother
so
was like,
hard.
it is so nice. Why is it in that toilet? And I'm like, when did she get this? Why did she hide it here? So it made sense when those guys rolled up because if they'd have had the whole but that's one of the things just like, you got us there, right? Because he had to save her from the bad guys. But also that little house that she's in with the gravel right before she steps up, and she was like,
"Take your residence."
Right. She's like, "Take your shoes off. This is a nice place." But that was clunky too. So it was just like we have the whole bay and all of that.
Because they did it on purpose. They show it at the epilogue, which I was like, that's cute.
Oh no, the epilogue. No. It was cute getting out of the toilet. I'm talking about when she's calling her assistant, and then the steward Kim shows up. Like that whole series of stuff was kind of clunky. But then I was like, well, why didn't she get dressed to go get questioned? But I guess it just makes her look more sad if she's in her pajamas to go.
I think she did it all on purpose to make it seem like she was like bullied. So, but and I also have to say the subway paid a lot for this series because they got an entire, you get their like, they have a store facade. He goes in and there's like a signage and everything.
And she has her own combo. The seduce the prince combo.
The Hui-joo combo.
The Hui-joo seduce the prince combo.
So funny.
And it's like when he walked up with that subway
so
back,
smart.
but and we can wrap up with this. When she was like, after the father comes and reams her out, and he calls her, and she's just like, When he showed up, he's like, you sounded sounded unwell on the phone, so I came to see you. I like how open they are with each other. She's like, oh yeah, my dad got mad at me, and then this else happened today. And so, and I got egged, and my dad came and yelled at me, and he's like, you're coming to stay at my house.
Well, it seems like they've known. So this is my big thing, like one of my gripes. It's like it's too soon. It's as if they've been friends for 30 years. They weren't even friends at school. They spoke a handful of times. So I feel like the way, like I like the fact, I agree. Like I like the fact that they're comfortable with each other and they're open. But is that realistic though? It's just like that's why at one point his assistant's just like, oh, were you guys like besties like back in the day? Because you guys are so like close. And you're just like, I don't know. I just felt like that was kind of a stretch because it literally went from, and not much time has passed since they decided to like concoct the plan, So, but
him leaning over the wall to kiss her was so cute.
I know, that was cute. And I was like, I knew there was like paparazzi. I was like, this isn't a real kiss. And she was just like, but it's cute. It's fun to watch. The episodes aren't that short though. They're like an hour 15 minutes.
Nah,
they're pretty long.
I'm doing my steps. I'm getting my steps in while I watch them. I'm standing up, getting my steps in while I watch it because I cannot sit here and watch this. I like to get my steps in and watch TV. I'm interested to see how the Dowager Queen is going to react to her son almost being killed. I'm interested to see.
So, God.
I think almost unnecessary because I think it's going to bring her heat she doesn't need. Dramatic. What it is going to create another conflict where it's just like, okay, you can't be around my son. The uncle can't, because it was like, I wanted to play hooky. So like the prime minister is in trouble. The nanny is in trouble. Hedges in trouble. The son, everybody is in trouble. But also him laying on the ground having a tantrum like that. You are too old for this.
Okay. So on that note.
Okay. But I'm interested to see how the Dowager Queen handles this. I'm interested to see how how Grandpa handles this because it's gonna be some shit. Because I want to know, are they gonna release it and try to smear her?
Oh yes.
Or are they gonna keep it private?
I think it's gonna become a battle between. Like Hui-joo, because she's so good at marketing and she knows how to play the PR game really well. Mm-hmm. I think that's what their battle is going to be. They're just going to be going back and forth, doing stuff to one another. And I think probably they'll have some I think they're going to have some wins too. But so far, I feel like she's kind of they're outplaying them right now because I think they're just kind of because I think the Queen Dowager isn't as smart as she comes across, clearly. And her dad needs to do more. But okay, so that was our recap of our reaction episode of episode 3 and 4. We will be back next week. We don't know when because we're just winging it. But yeah, so we'll be back next week right afterwards, and we'll have another episode for you guys. And then our Glory rewatch starts Wednesday, April 29th. So that's going to be next week, right? Yeah, next week. Oh my God. Okay.
Yes, next
Wednesday. Yes, coming up. So it's very exciting. Okay, so we'll see you guys then. Thank you so much.
Sarangees.